Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be making a stuffed cuttlefish with a quinoa and a zucchini tomato mixture. So what I've done is I pre-cooked my quinoa. So I have a tricolor quinoa that I've been using and I find it's quite nice. So I've boiled it so that it's cooked, and then I cleaned my cuttlefish. So I have some small size cuttlefish. I soak them in lemon and vinegar and I drain them so it is they're ready to make. And then within the quinoa I have grilled some small pieces of zucchini, and then I'm going to be making a batter that's going to go inside of the and so what I've done is I've made a batter that's going to go inside and stuffed inside of the cuttlefish. So let's get started. Once I have those complete, I'm going to grill those on the grill. Alright, so I'm going to use a bit of the quinoa to start off with, fill in some of the cuttlefish, and then we'll go to see how much more we need if we need to make some more. So I'm going to start off with some quinoa. Some zucchini, some tomato. I'm going to be using an egg, so I'm going to mix the quinoa and the zucchini, tomato, and egg up so that we can see the texture of it. So we're going to mix that up. I'm going to start heating up the grill so that when we're ready, we can start putting them on the grill. So I'm going to start off on a low heat, and then as I need it on a higher heat later, I will increase the heat. So I have a nice batter here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of spices inside of this filling. So I'm going to add some oregano, some black pepper, and a bit of salt. So my filling is now complete. It's a nice base. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start stuffing the cuttlefish. Now this is a small size one, so I don't need to put a lot in there. And you can use this type of filling for all sizes of either cuttlefish or large squids. It's a nice base. So I'm just going to spoon it inside of the cuttlefish. You can use your fingers just to stuff it in. And then we can rest them aside until our grill is fully heated up. So we're just going to rest that aside. And then once the grill is ready, I'm going to start grilling the cuttlefish. So our grill is now heated up, and I'm just going to put some olive oil on it so that the cuttlefish doesn't get stuck to the grill as we're cooking them. So I'm just going to sure that it's nicely even on the grill. And then I'm going to rest the cuttlefish just on side of the grill. So we're going to continue filling our cuttlefish until we have them all filled up. And then we're just going to grill them. And once they're done, we're going to set them aside, and then we're going to cook a pasta that these can go with. Now let's get started on our sauce. So we're going to heat up a medium-sized pan, and then we're going to start off with some butter. Once our butter is heated up, we will add in our next ingredients. Okay, now heated up, and we're going to start with some chopped onions. So we're going to heat our onions up, and then I have some minced garlic. Once our onions are nice and soft, we're going to now add our next ingredients. So we're going to use some fresh cut tomato, which is cut it in a small size so that it can cook quite nicely. So I'm going to add that into our sauce. And then I also have some nice brown mushrooms. Add that into our sauce. I'm going to mix those up, and I'm going to allow those to cook for a bit. Now that our vegetables and that we put in so far into our pasta sauce is nice and soft, I'm now going to add some broth into the pot. So I have a vegetable broth here, and I shook it well so that all the spices inside are nicely mixed in. I'm just going to make sure that it's there you go. Alright, so I'm going to let this come to a boil, and then I'm going to add in my next ingredients. Our broth and our vegetables have now come to a boil, and I'm going to add some spices into the sauce. So I'm going to add some black pepper. I'm going to add some sea salt, and I'm going to add some dried oregano. I'm going to mix those up. I'm going to add a bit of tomato sauce. Stir that up. I'm going to let this come to a boil, and then I'm going to add my next ingredients. Our sauce has now come to a boil once again, and now I'm going to add some heavy cream into the sauce. I'm going to turn the temperature up to the highest temperature that I could do, and I'm going to let this come to another boil. And then we're going to add in our next ingredients. Our sauce has now come to a high boil, and I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese into the sauce to thicken it. Once I'm complete with the cheese, I'm going to start putting the cuttlefish into the sauce so that it can heat up again. And then once that's done, I'm going to start adding my pasta into the sauce. Okay, so we're going to start adding in our cuttlefish that we've grilled earlier. We're just going to add them into the sauce. Now you can serve these off to the side, and then you can put the sauce on top. I'm just going to put them right into the sauce themselves. Then I'm going to add in the pasta into the sauce. So we're just going to loosen it up, and then we're going to gradually add in the noodles. And then we're gonna stir it all around slowly so that it can nicely blend in. So we're just gonna slowly and turn the sauce over the pasta so that the pasta can loosen up and get nice and warm, that everything will be nicely mixed. So it's kind of like a seafood pasta with a cream sauce now, because we have the cuttlefish and the pasta sauce all nicely blended in now with each other. So the pasta has now warmed up as well with the cuttlefish and the sauce. It's boiling again, and there we go, it's nice and complete. So now it's like a seafood pasta with the cuttlefish inside of the cream sauce and with the pasta. So it's a nice blend, and then we can plate it and serve more of the cheese on top with some pepper, and then it's all ready to eat. If you like this recipe and you want to see more like this, please subscribe to our channel. Hit that share, like, and that bell notification button.